It's either a hell yeah or it's a no. And when you're in need of someone really urgently, but you actually have to hold off to get the right fit, that's when you start questioning, what does that hell yeah actually mean?
I've done a lot of interviews with Alex, and I've had a couple of run-ins with Alex where we've disagreed, where I've been absolutely, and then he's kind of been like, it's not a hell yeah.
When someone's close to a hell yeah, but they're not quite there, geez, it's hard to not progress them, and to then let them go and start the whole process again is quite daunting.
It's difficult because you deal with people, I think, and people are always surprising. You know, they never stop surprising you, and sometimes it's in the most awesome way and it ends up in an employment contract and someone coming on board, but sometimes it doesn't. You know, sometimes an agreement is signed and someone changes their mind or gets a better offer from the employer that they have just resigned with. It's never black and white.
I think the biggest challenge with hiring in a growing company is finding the right people at the right time.
The way the company works is it's people. We don't have software as a service. The service is people. And so you've always got to keep ahead so that everybody's busy enough, but that we've got clients coming in at the same rate.
Look, we do get a whole lot of applications, so that means sometimes I'm going through 200 of these awesome cover letters, and to try and, reduce that to a handful is hard.
You want to be really nice, but you also want to be really, really honest about what the role entails and how hard it is. And yes, there's support, but you have to be quite self-motivated as well.
Because we're looking for such a diverse, random set of people, it's hard to filter out the CVs without filtering out people that would have been awesome. It's so important to get the culture right, that we keep the team culture within the department and within the company as a whole right. Same with Alex and Paul. They own the company, they're so busy, but they'll be at every second interview, checking everyone. And we'll do that for as long as we can.
And if you do 6 or 10 of those in a week, and you do a few weeks of those for potentially different roles within the company, that's a huge investment on either of our times. But ultimately, the payback and the value of that investment is critically worth it.
What we look for is attitude, cultural fit, and skill set. And those three, I think any employer would look for, but we look for it in that order. Because the skills is something that we can train. The attitude, you can't.
Attitude, it's a hunger, I think. Attitude is a desire to grow. Attitude is a desire to learn.
The way in which you approach things. You know, you make mistakes, you fall down, you get back up.
It's the growth mindset versus the fixed mindset. A person that has the growth mindset is someone who's always looking to find a better way of doing things, and that's at the core of how we actually operate here.
Skill set is so important, obviously, but the whole point of coming here and working here is to learn. And so making sure that that person fits with what we have here is super important for me, because I would never want to disrupt the amazingness of the existing team, because I've seen how that can change the dynamic.
We usually get heaps and heaps of applicants, and it's a matter of kind of just going full throttle for a couple of weeks.
Just the time that's involved, and as we're growing, we just need people all the time, so you're always interviewing. We'd rather be under the pump, under-resourced, and not bring on someone that's crap.
Right now, we're looking for 2 full rounders, to join the team as a social media producer. Today's interview was probably not the right fit for us, for the skill set that we're looking for right now. No, she wasn't a hell yeah. The conflict is, bottom line, I don't think she's right for this role. He was a little bit too junior. They're lovely, they're good candidates, but I'm not feeling yeah, definitely not what we're looking for. A little bit frustrated at the moment, because that candidate came through a recruiter who does know who we are as a brand and as a company and what we're looking for in our candidates. It's actually really tiring to keep interviewing people. 12 to 15 interviews, we've hired one person. And we're still looking for 2 places to be filled. So by those stats, I'll be done by the end of the year. Woo.
We almost gave up on the hiring process actually. We interviewed about maybe 20, 25 different people, but there wasn't anyone that we could move ahead with really. We got some people to second interviews, some people did the AdWords test and just failed completely, even though they said they knew how to do AdWords campaigns. Then we had an awesome application come through, well 2 awesome applications come through in the weekend. They were both pretty interesting candidates, but one of them was a clear standout. So we offered him the job last night, and yeah, he accepted it already, and he's pretty pumped, and he's started doing training already. His name's Cameron.
So the girl that we interviewed today, for me, when I first met her, like straight off the bat, hell yes. And so I literally went up to Alex straight after the interview and I was like, you have to meet this girl. And so he interviewed her, and after the interview today, we had a bit of a chat, and he was like, yep, give her the offer.
Welcoming a couple of new recruits, which was exciting, always. Department heads can give them a proper intro.
Welcome to Fiorella, who joined us last week, and then Chloe.
So that's 4 people in a period of a week and a half. There you go. Yes. Yeah, that's awesome, huh? Yeah. The investment in a new person starting here basically starts from day one. Induction program, training, you are part of the company whether you're on probation or not. We actually want anybody who comes on board here to A, feel part of the company from day one, but also hit the ground running. We think long term. We want to find someone, we invest in them, and we want them to be here for a while.
To bring anyone new into the team is daunting, always. Our induction program, the investment, or all the department heads, ourselves being involved in the interviews, is all to get the right person and to enable them, off their own performance and their own volition, to succeed beyond the probation. And we don't always get it right, but geez, we get a lot right. In turn, you know, are they able to walk the walk? You know, obviously they would have been able to talk the talk through the interviews, but can they now deliver?